thank you, Director Wray, for being here. And I want to add my voice to the chorus of folks who are just devastated by the illness and passing of Sheila Jackson Lee. What a champion. What a role model. I always called her the hardest working member of Congress. She was everywhere on every issue. She'll be greatly missed. Director Wray, I thank you for what you said earlier, which is leaning in. This is such an extraordinary set of events. The attempted assassination of Donald Trump, the stealing of the life of a father, a firefighter, somebody who protected lives, Corey Comparator, serious injuries to 2 others. So I thank you because you are trying to give us what you can without jeopardizing the investigation, and I think that's very helpful. Did the shooter also investigate other high-profile folks? We had heard some reporting around that early on.
Well, you say investigate other folks. I think this is a place where we still have a lot more work to do. Part of what we did find was a bunch of cached images of a variety of public figures. But again, cached images are those images that you get when you pull up a news story from any number of news sites. If there are photographs in the article, those images are automatically put into the cache on your computer. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you were searching for that person's image. We do have the fact that starting around, at the least around the period early July, so the search that I just mentioned related to Oswald and Kennedy, that's about July 6th, which is the same day we believe that he registered for the rally. And the day before, he traveled to the grounds for the first time. And so I think there is a certain amount of searches related to former President Trump that during that period we're seeing, consistent with some kind of planning or reconnaissance, if you want to call it that, in advance of the rally. But that's sort of confined to that, or concentrated, maybe is a better word, in that July period, after the announcement of the rally and before the shooting.
Can you speak to the conveyance of the gun? So this is a 20-year-old young man. His father owned the gun originally, AR-15, am I correct?
AR style, yeah,
AR style 15. 20-year-old man. When did the father sell the gun to him? And what documents do you have? How much money transpired? What date?
Yeah, I do know that, I know, we believe, based on what we've seen, that his father, after purchasing the gun legally, sold the gun to his son. I don't know that I have the date of that transfer or the amount of the transfer, although we may be able to get that to you as a file. I just don't have it in front of me.
Do you know when the father bought it?
We know. I don't, as I'm sitting here testifying in front of you, I don't have that in front of me, so I don't have it at my fingertips.
I'm just wondering if it's proximate to this event.
I do not believe that the gun was purchased, that is the gun that was used. I do not believe it was purchased particularly close in time to the shooting, but how far in advance? It may have been a year before, give or take, but again, we'll go back and double check that on you. I do know that on the day of the shooting, at about 1:30 p.m., he bought 50 rounds of ammunition. So if you think about the day of, or if you back up a little bit, so the day before he goes to the shooting range, the day of he goes to the grounds the morning of the event for, I think, around an hour. He buys the ammunition at around 1:30. At around 3:50 is when he's back on the grounds of the rally, and that's when he used the drone that I've talked about already today. And then, of course, fast forward till just after 6 o'clock when the worst happened.
And we had thought maybe over the weekend there was a conversation around a classified briefing for members. I hope that will happen as soon as it's feasible for you and for the other agencies involved. And he got off 8 shots, and the reporting is that that was in under 6 seconds. He got off 8 shots, fatal to 1. My question that I'll leave you with, and I know I'm over time, Mr. Chairman, is we all decry political violence. We decry any violence, but we decry the rise in political violence. What can you tell us that we could do better? What do you need for you to be able to help this country reduce the political violence tendencies?
I think this is a moment where, in the most stark way possible, all of us as Americans can see how out of control political violence is in this country. And it's an opportunity for everybody to come together and to try to show that this is not the kind of thing we're going to tolerate in this country. The FBI's role is to focus on violence and threats of violence. But there is a role for others in the public square to address how people communicate in this country. And every day in our jobs, we see in social media, in terms of threats that we get, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of tips reported to us, and the language that's out there is just mind-bogglingly hateful and violent sounding. People sometimes, as figures of speech, use expressions that are very violent expressions, and so that is a part of it. We can all do better in kind of being a little more thoughtful and measured in our language. But again, the we got to stay in our lane. Our lane is the violence and the threats of violence. There's a role for everybody as Americans to try to see if we can take the temperature down.
Great, thank you. And thank you for the extra time.